Dear Diary, today is the 15th of July. Let me just check that. Right, 15th of July. You know, I had no clue it would take me like 20 minutes to get to the point of recording my first minute of video. It's more complicated than it seems, even if you have all the equipment. In this video, I will be talking about random thoughts of mine throughout the day, throughout the week. It's really difficult to talk to a camera. It's like you're talking to a person, but you're not really talking to a person because it's this random eye that like looks at you and makes you feel uncomfortable because there's not a real person there. Even though I know that anybody watching this will, there will be two people if someone's watching it, but at the moment there's only one person and there's a camera, which is weird. Like, I have to imagine that there's a person behind the camera and not just this random object staring at me that's inanimate and is definitely not a human. It's really weird. The other thing is that it's really weird to talk to yourself, because at this point I'm the only person who's going to be watching the video, so it's like I'm talking to my future self. But anyway, so as you might be able to tell from my clothing, it's quite cold here, but I just took a bath and I came into this room where I have a heater that's like permanently on. I have to turn that on quickly. Okay, it's on. Now I can finally maybe take my jacket off. I'm quite hot. Oh, it's weird. So I live in South Africa, but this hoodie is from Santa Barbara, California. Apparently it's some random university, which is weird that I bought this in South Africa, but it's like an American university. It's really strange. I don't know why. Anyway, maybe I should take my glasses off. Is that better? Yeah, I think I should keep my glasses on. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I had an idea. No? I was in the bath. Productivity is harder than it sounds. You have great plans for the day, and then if you're just by yourself and there's no one to keep tabs on you, it's kind of difficult to make sure that you actually are productive. I mean, I was sort of productive today. I recorded a Minecraft episode, but yeah, I didn't feel that productive. I was supposed to practice piano for 2 hours, and I've only practiced for 45 minutes. I play the piano, by the way. And I was supposed to do the dishes. I still need to do that. And I was supposed to do a lot of things, and I haven't done them. Productivity is harder than it sounds. Why don't I give you a bit of background about myself? I'm 18, I live in South Africa, in Pretoria. I'm currently in my final year of high school. It's called matric in South Africa, but it would be senior year in American high school. I was born in Durban, and I lived there for about 5.5, almost 6 years before I moved. My family, we all moved to America, to Atlanta, and stayed there for about, how long did we stay? About 3 years. After we had lived in Atlanta for about 3 years, we moved to Northern Virginia, where we stayed for about 6 years. That's where I have a lot of my most fond memories. And then about 3 years ago we moved back. I'm bumping the table. Why am I bumping the table? I have a lot of random thoughts, but when you're confronted with a camera, all of the random thoughts that you have in your head just vanish. They're like, poof, gone. So, I had a lot of ideas for this episode, and then they all vanished because I'm in front of a camera. I'll think of one or two, don't worry. Okay, well, since it's a diary, there is one thing, I could just talk about what I did today. So, okay, I woke up at 9:45-ish, and then, what did I do? I played Minecraft for about 4 hours. 4 hours. Until about 1:30. That was for my YouTube channel, the other YouTube channel that I have. Links down below. After finishing my episode number 7, I decided to eat lunch, which was amazing. We have avoes in season. Avoes and avoes. These are called fritters, and these are the best avoes ever. But yeah, I love avoes. My grandparents have a tree, which is why we have such amazing avoes. You buy avoes at the store, and they're like, meh, meh, meh. And then you have avoes from an avo tree that your grandparents have, and it's like, you never want to eat another avo again. Like, a different avo. Yeah, you definitely want to eat an avo again, but not, yeah, whatever. What was I talking about? Because this is the first time I've ever done this, I have no clue how long to make this, entry video thing. Maybe I should make it, 4 minutes? Maybe I should start editing already? I don't know. I've been thinking about doing this first episode for quite a while now, And I think a big part of doing something like this is just starting. Like, it's not that hard once you get going to actually do something, because I've watched so many people do this that it's really not that hard to imitate it. It's like you just start and it's not that hard. But like, if you haven't started, it's this mammoth task and you have no clue how difficult it is. It could be like super difficult and you have no clue because you've never done it. And then you do it and it's like, this was so easy, why didn't I do this earlier? Yeah. Moving on, after I played Minecraft for 4 hours, I then decided to eat lunch with the apples and egg, which is an amazing combination. If you've never had it, you should try it. I then did something. I can't actually really remember. Why is it so difficult to remember something that you did how many hours ago? 6 hours ago. How can it be that difficult? Why is my table so wobbly? I remembered what I did. So during lunch, I was like, I should watch a YouTube video. You know, while I'm eating, nothing else to do. Nothing useful that you can do. I mean, I guess you could read a book, but for me, lunch is a nice place to take a break. Time to take a break. So, during lunch, I watched a video. And then, after the video, and after I was finished lunch, I was like, let's watch another one. And then, after an hour of watching YouTube videos, I was like, I just wasted an hour of my life watching YouTube videos. I mean, it was SciShow, so it was sort of educational. But, yeah. My table is so wobbly! After watching YouTube videos for like an hour, I decided to play StarCraft. I remembered. And I played StarCraft for like, well, that was about 3:30. And then, no, it wasn't 3:30, it was after 3:30. It was like 3:50, 10 to 4. And then, after about 10 minutes of playing, I was like about to lose. The other guy had come in, thankfully I wasn't about to win. I was about to lose, and then everything went off. And it was really sad. But it was fine because I was going to lose the game anyway. There's nothing better for productivity than the electricity going out. Because then I played piano, and then I did something else useful, and I had a bath, and I was going to go for a run, but I didn't do that. But productivity soars when you don't have power. Even though not having power really sucks, but yeah. So, about power outages, in South Africa we have an electricity company called Eskom, which has a monopoly on the power. Monopolies don't have to be a bad thing, but in this particular case, it is terrible, because it's one company, and it's pretty corrupt. So, they get lots of money from the government, because they're a monopoly and they provide power to everyone, and so they get money from the government, but then it doesn't go towards actually producing electricity. It goes to random executives who put the money in their pocket and buy big yachts. Well, that's my perspective anyway. That's what it seems to be. Because, okay, so here's an example. Okay, so after doing some research on Eskom and the Medupi power station, it would appear that it's not as badly off schedule as people would like to make out. The reason why Eskom is upsetting is that they have this thing called load shedding, which means that at a time, seems random, but apparently it's according to a schedule, your house and your area, it's not a very big area, will not have power for, it's about 2 hours. And it can happen every day. That hasn't been for a while, but it did about 3 months ago. It happened every day. For about 2 weeks it happened. That was bad. But it was in the morning and I was at school, so it was cool. I feel sorry for my mom and baby sister who are at home. So the Medupi power station was forecast to be about $32 billion. That was the original budget, which is about $2.5 billion, which is a lot of money. But if you consider the GDP of South Africa, which is $350.6 billion, so like 3.5 trillion rand, that's like 1%? Yeah, it's like less than 1%. Huh? Yeah, 1%. Okay, so 1% of a nation's GDP is a massive amount, but it's like 1% of a nation's GDP is a lot of money, but it's like, for something that's as big as a massive power station, which could basically solve South Africa's electricity problems, it's not like it's that much money if you compare it. And then the budget kind of got overrun by about 10 times. And now it's forecasted to be 300 billion rand, which is 10 times what it was started with. That is a great budget, estimation at the beginning. Eskom is kind of like the swear word in South Africa at the moment. There are a lot of really funny comics and sayings. Like, let me explain this really quickly, and then I can tell you like what the funny things are. So, stage 1 is like maybe an hour a day, I think, it depends, and then stage 2, and then stage 3. And stage 3 is the most, and it means like 2.5 hours, I think maybe twice a day. So now, people are saying, they're like, you know, stage 5, that's gonna be bad. Stage 5 doesn't exist, by the way. So, stage 5 is gonna be bad. Is when Eskom comes to your house, and they blow your candles out. And then one of my other friends is like, no, that's not stage 5. Stage 5 is when Eskom stages a national eclipse. It would be great to laugh about the problems that Eskom has, but it's not actually that funny. I'm realizing. I wish it was funny. It's not funny. My glasses are really reflective. I'm realizing that you can't really see my eyes. Maybe I should take my glasses off. Well, now I can't see anything, but at least you can see my eyes. It looks like it's flickering. That's weird. I'm really blind, by the way, without my glasses. I have like a -4.5 prescription. It's really bad. I was talking about my day, wasn't I? Yeah, I was talking about my day. Where was I? Oh yeah, productivity and the power being off. That was where this all started. So, despite the fact that the power being off is terrible, productivity is amazing while the power is off. Because you don't have the distractions of, well, my computer, and, I don't know, the internet. So, many distractions are gone when the power is off. So, I played piano, I did all kinds of things that were actually useful. And then I suddenly had this idea. I was like, well, since I'm playing the piano, and since I want to be productive, why don't I play some sheet music and do sight reading? So, sight reading is basically when you take a brand new piece and you play it. You try and play it as best as you can. And it didn't work. I realized because I was like, hey, I want a new piece. And then I was like, hey, I should look on it on the internet. And then I got it from the piano and I was like, oh wait, the power's off. The power being off sucks. So after the bath, I came in. Oh, that was my phone. After the bath, I came in here. And that was basically where I started here. I spent like 20 minutes fiddling with my camera trying to get the settings right. I don't think I got it right. Hopefully I'll get it right next episode. Well, it's not episodes. I need to remind myself it's not episodes. They're called diary entries, maybe? What about, like, avos? I don't know. These are still here. So now that I'm basically done with what I planned to do during this episode, and this is sort of like after I'm finished, my thoughts about recording are actually pretty different from when I started. When I started this, like, thing, whatever, pushed the record button, and I stared at the camera, and I stared at the camera, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing. And then, I suddenly started, and I was like, this isn't so difficult. It's like, really easy. You just pretend that there's someone behind the camera. And even, I remember saying at the beginning of this episode, it's so difficult to talk to a camera. And that's true, but you just have to kind of trick yourself into not remembering the fact that you're in a room alone and all you're doing is talking to a camera. Which I just remembered, and suddenly I feel really awkward. Because there's no one else in this room. You also realize, when you're recording, there are like thousands of people that could theoretically be behind that camera. Like, you guys, basically. There are lots of you, maybe. Or there's one of you. I don't know. It's really freaky thinking about that. Thinking about the fact that I could be talking to myself, or I could be talking to like 100,000 people, or I could be talking to like the police who have like a random issue with what I said, or like a judge who looks at my video for like court evidence. That would be really weird. I don't know why anyone would take me to court or use my video for evidence. And then there's the possibility that all of this footage will be totally lost, and no one will ever see it, besides me. And so it'll never be on the internet. That's also really sad. That would actually be really sad. That's probably the worst thing that could happen right now. I really hope it doesn't happen. The problem is that my mic has issues sometimes. It does, like, things where it just, like, goes when I make noises that are too loud. I hope that didn't happen this episode. Otherwise, I will be spending the next 3 hours editing those things out. Wonder what my neck looks like on camera. I will see you tomorrow.